Hello, bonsoir tout le monde. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Neffy. If you're new here, thank you for watching. Definitely stick around after to view my other videos. If you're subscribed, thank you for watching and continuously watching. Today's video is one that I've been planning to do for a while. Better late than never. Here we are. So I usually get my eyebrows waxed. I've had it threaded before. It came out great, but it was, to me, a little more painful than waxing. But again, too, it wasn't something that was so painful that I couldn't do it again, but I just prefer waxing. So that's what I do, and I typically wax my brows once a month. Now for my eyebrow care, I really don't do any like upkeep, I guess you could say, besides getting it professionally waxed. So once it gets to be like really bad, depending on how my hair is growing out, recently, pretty much yesterday, I was doing my makeup and I noticed that some hair on my brows kind of was growing outward. So then I took my little tweezer and just pluck those out. But that's the only time really that I pluck my brows. So a lot of times what I'll do is if I know that the concealer won't really get the cover the brows underneath the hair. Okay, let's get that together. Right, got you guys closer so you can see a little better, but once I'm of course doing the tutorial, it'll be much closer. So once, like, if I see, like, let's say the hair underneath here, if I know, just from experience, I know that the concealer that I use, if I know that it's not going to really cover it well, then I'll, you know, tweeze some of them. But again, I rarely do that. I do not do much, then do my monthly waxing, and sometimes honestly it can be 2 months. I'm actually gonna look the last time. Oh wow, it's been 2 months. Now, one thing I do want to mention, I alternate between brow gel and brow pencil. Depends honestly on, because if I use something for a long time, my face gets used to it, or my skin, whatever, gets used to it, so I switch it up. But that doesn't mean I don't like to use it anymore, but it's just in that moment, like, all right, it's time to use something else. Like, I'm tired of using a brow pencil, so I'll go back to my brow gel. For either brow pencil and brow gel, whatever product you are applying when it comes to makeup, especially if you're not used to wearing makeup like that, don't go with the heavy hand. Don't do it too hard. Don't pick up too much product, because you just, especially too when you're using a product for the first time, obviously once you experience and you know the product that you're using, then you do as you do. But if it's your first time using that product, or you don't know how to use makeup like that, or you don't wear it like that, just come with a soft hand. Don't apply too much product, because sometimes it just will be harder and take longer to fix and come out how you want it to be. So the same thing with brow pencil and brow gel, especially with the brow gel. So let's talk quickly about brushes for the brows. I always use a brush that has that's flat on the ends. So you see how it's flat? So, and depending on if I'm wearing eyeshadow or not, depends on what size of brush I use. Because usually what I do is use the concealer that I clean my brows with, or at least under my brows, and I bring it down on my lids if I'm wearing eyeshadow, because I usually use that like as a eyeshadow primer, right? So for the most part, I'll use this size for the most part. Now, if I am going to bring down the concealer, pretty much put it all over my eye, then I go ahead and I use this bigger size right here. You can see right here the comparison, right? So you see this one is much bigger, but they're both flat. So today I'm just gonna go ahead and use the medium size, what I usually use really. And to clean it, what I do is clean it with my concealer LA Girl, And for cleaning your brow with the concealer, all that, the color depends really on your preference. Like for me, I do like for my concealer to be a shade lighter, or two, because this is really a good 3 shades lighter than I am about. But I just like how it looks. If you do use a lighter shade, just make sure you blend it well so it's not harsh and you can really see where the product start and end. So that's the only thing that I will say if you're using something lighter. But I wouldn't really go past 3 shades. You don't honestly really need it, but again, if you like that look, then okay. But I wouldn't even go past 3 shades lighter at all to go under my brow, especially if you are not putting any eyeshadow or anything. Then there's no reason to. In those cases, if you're not even putting on eyeshadow, you're just doing a super basic look, then just use a concealer that's your shade, or a shade, 1 shade lighter. So for today, I'm gonna go ahead and use an eyebrow pencil, and what I've been loving lately, well, not even lately, a minute now, is the Colourpop Precision Brow Pencil. This one that I'll be using, it actually comes like this because the spoolie fell out. So it comes like this with the spoolie. Usually this is like a brand new one, but this one I've been using, so I don't even know what happened to this one. Okay, so you guys are really close. You see my brows? You see the hairs? Honey. Anyway, I haven't been really going anywhere like that, so I don't be caring. Okay, so what I usually do, and honestly, this I feel like too is something that may depend on you. I usually like to have the front brows up like this to give it a more, I like how it looks, a natural look. You can use it, brush it up, just to give you room to place the products on the bottom, especially when you're trying to make an even line on the bottom. And I always start on the bottom, and then we're gonna go ahead and line the bottom. I might use my mirror because looking into the lens of the camera and doing this is not helping. So if you see my eyes not looking at the lens, that's why, because I'm using a mirror. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let me bring it right here. And again, at first, I'm always going very light. Even with me going light with this product, you can already see it, okay? And usually, actually, I don't even know why I really started, because usually I don't put that much product in the front, and I'll show you what I do in the end. So I'll just mainly kind of start right here, because I don't want the front of my brow to have too much product. So I'll just really start right here. And then, and again, I'm just following the shape that my brow pretty much already have. And how I shape it with my concealer in the end. I don't shape it much now when I'm applying the brow product. Okay, so this, I don't like how short my end is. So I'm just going to extend it a little bit with the product, just a little bit, not too much, because you don't want this to like pass way down here, like past your, yeah, you don't want it to meet it too close. So just, if you want, just kind of do like this, right? Make sure that it could just align with this, but don't have it past your eye. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and fill it in, and I do pretty much, well, what am I doing? I do upward strokes with it, because that's the look that I desire, that I like. I'm constantly going back and forth with the spoolie to clean it. You can use the spoolie to clean, to take off more product pretty much. So you can do that, or honestly, if you want, you can just kind of just do it more sideways if you want. Sometimes I be going crazy on my I be going crazy because I know the concealer just be cleaning it so nice in the end that it's like, all right, I can already tell it's pretty decent. I don't need that much more product, honestly. Just gonna make sure the top gets a little bit more. And I didn't even line the top. I really didn't. So just do it a little bit. But me, I really don't do much because I already have, as you can see, a lot. So I just follow what's already there and fill it in. Okay, so it's just in the end, you see how this looks like it's missing some hair right here. So with the brow product, it just gives it a unified look. And you never want your brow hair to, I don't like it to be too harsh. I like it to complement my hair color. It doesn't have to be exactly like right now. Obviously I'm having blonde braids, but it doesn't have to be blonde brows. You know, it's just as long as it complements each other, it doesn't look off, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to match to the T. And I'm gonna go ahead and place some products on my brush. I like to distribute the product evenly on the end of the brush. You can always add more concealer later or as you go. Okay, so you can either place it like this, where it's kind of like you're holding the brush straight and you're not even curving it at all. But see whatever feels good with your hand. For me, I kind of tilt it sideways, not pretty much sideways, not a little, not kind of. So I tilt it sideways, so you can do either or. That's why also too it's important to evenly distribute the concealer. So just go ahead and just straight on the bottom and you're cleaning it. If you're not used to doing your brows, of course you can go slower than this. And this is where I say that I kind of use it to shape my brow. So I'm going a little higher with the concealer so it can give me a little curve, a little shape. Okay. And then I just, this is where I usually kind of like stop. Honestly, this can be a lot to some people, but I'm just used to doing like this. Because what I do too, even if I'm not using eyeshadow, putting on eyeshadow, I like to use the concealer to just cover my dark spots. Because as you can see, obviously my eye is darker than the rest of my face. So I like to use it because if I'm doing my brows, it's rarely that I do my brows and don't put on foundation. So if I'm doing my brows, then I'm putting it on foundation. So I'll just go ahead and put it all over. Now for the top part, you want, and I do this to kind of take away the harsh line of the concealer. I just use my fingertips, or you can use a brush, either or. So I'll just take the leftover that's on my thing. You don't have to add more, you can, but again, you're just gonna be doing more blending. And all I'm doing on the top is cleaning it. And you can also, to make it easier if you're not used to doing your makeup like that, you can use a concealer that's your shade. And then this is important in the end, make sure you clean that end. And this is what the concealer helps me to kind of make it a little slimmer in the end and elongate the brow in the end. I don't even need to add more product. That concealer can help drag the brow product that's already on there to elongate a little bit. So that way you don't necessarily have to add more brow product. You can just use that concealer to help you out. I can't really see if you can see it on the lens, but of course you can see some of the hair down here. I personally don't feel like it looks horrible. Because even in person, unless you're really super close to me, you're not going to see it. You know what I mean? So it's up to you. If you want to go ahead and tweeze it, you can do that. But for me, I don't mind it. And again, it's unless someone's really close to me, that's like all in my face. Like what? So I'm just gonna go ahead and do the other side. Like, look at this. Oh my god, they look so pretty. All right, so again, just use my finger in the front to fade it out so it's not too harsh. So now you can use a brush to blend it out more before you put on your foundation. Or honestly, to avoid this, just use a concealer that's your shade or your foundation. That's really the best way to do it, but I don't know. I feel like the lighter shade just really pop it out more, so I just keep I just do it that way and just blend it more with my brush before and the brush doesn't have any product, or you can put powder, a little bit of powder on it if you want, like that's like your skin tone. Oh, that's another thing too, you can use powder before you place any product on your brow hair before, so that if you're prone to being oily, don't put too much, just enough so that way it's not getting too oily around that area during the day. And just, so right now, like I said, no product on the brush, and that's it. I'm not gonna put on any foundation because I'm not going anywhere, so I'm just gonna leave it as it is. This is all that I do. You see, look how good it looks. Like, oh my god, like it looks amazing. I'm like looking at I love it. Okay, so now final touch. I do this majority of the time, but sometimes I don't get a chance to. In the end, I just go back with my spoolie to just do this to the front. I just feel like it gives more natural look. I think that's it. If I do forget anything, let me know. If you have like any other questions and anything else that I missed, definitely check the description box, because while I'm editing I might be like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this, and it will be in the description box. But if there's something that I did not mention, just go ahead and leave me a comment, and other recommendations, any other things that you would like to see, beauty, lifestyle related, let me know. And that's it for this one, so I'll see you in the next video. Bye.